Nice butt.
So I was watching a YouTube video, I think it was about self-confidence, and I was looking in the comments and somebody had left a comment saying that they met a woman who had been brought up in a certain culture and it wasn't the norm to compliment each other on your appearance.
That's cool.
And apparently this woman had no body issues. She was confident because she hadn't been brought up and raised in a culture where it was the norm to be like, oh yeah, you look great. Instead, you compliment each other on you and your personality and the qualities that you have. And to me, that makes so much sense. It was one of those things where I read it and, you know, when your brain just goes, oh.
Epiphany. Because, like, even when you explained it to me, I was like, oh, that's quite different. Because, like, nowadays, everybody's just like, oh, you look great. Oh, your hair's awesome. Oh, he's tall, dark, and handsome. Like, there's, like, so many stereotypes to what makes you good looking or what deserves a compliment. In this day and age, it's, like, very external based, right?
It's completely external based. I mean, every so often someone might compliment you, obviously say that you're funny or say that you're... This is it. It's hard to think of things that people will say to you about your personality because it's not very often, right?
Yeah, it's not like a regular habit. You don't go up to someone and be like, hey, I really appreciated your kindness, you know? Or like, hey, that was really nice of you to compliment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird how, like, people
we can't even talk about it because it's not normal and it's weird. And it's like, I can't think of any examples when someone has really complimented on my personality, you know what I mean?
Nice booty, Amy.
Thank you. It's true though, right?
Yeah.
And it made me think about how there are cultures in the world, obviously, where it's not the norm to focus on how people look externally, right? Like, there are obviously cultures where women walk around topless and boobs aren't a sexual object. You know what I mean?
It's so weird.
Yeah.
That, like, it depends on the culture and where you're brought up in and what's the norm, right?
Yeah, societal norms, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what shocked me the most is that it felt so alien when I read that comment to think about having no issues about the way that I looked because getting compliments about the way that I looked wasn't a thing and that it was all internal and who you are as a human.
Yeah, and how you treat people. Like, I think your character as how you treat people shines way more than your physical appearance. Yeah, you can be a good-looking girl. Yeah, you can be a good-looking guy. But if you're a complete douche or a complete jerk, nobody's gonna like you. I mean, like, it's very unattractive. When I hear that statement that, why don't we compliment people on their personality and stuff? Everybody's perception is different. Everybody, the way they're seeing the world is different. So if I'm looking at a girl that I find attractive, it's very much my opinion. Yeah,
obviously not everyone is going to be attracted to the same people.
Yeah.
Right? Well, obviously, because the world would be screwed if that was the case. But yeah, so it's kind of like, and I know for me, if someone says, oh, yeah, your hair looks nice, or oh, I like your outfit or whatever, I don't really think, oh, yay for me. I'm like, okay, that person has the same style as me if they like my outfit or whatever, right? Or if it's a guy and it's like, okay, that guy is obviously attracted to people who look similar to me. Yeah. And that's not in anyone else's control, right? That's just, like we said, it's subjective, it's personal, it's everyone's perception and how they see the world, right? And what they like.
So you were saying to me the other day that if someone's complimenting you on how you look, but you don't like the way you look, it doesn't really matter about the compliment.
No, because you were saying about when girls compliment each other when they've just spent 2 hours getting ready for a night out or whatever, right? And for me, if I have just spent 2 hours getting ready, but my hair isn't right or my makeup isn't right, I'm not this person. But I used to care, right?
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. But if I was not happy with how I looked and then my best friend was like, oh, you look great, I'd be like,
You'd be like, what?
I'd be like, no, I don't. Thanks,
exactly.
But no.
Thanks, but no.
And then it sort of works the other way too, right? If you're there and your friend has just spent 2 hours getting ready, you feel obligated to be like, oh, you look nice, even if you really don't like the dress that she's wearing because it's not your taste. You still feel obligated to say, oh yeah, you look great. So it's like, Yeah, if people compliment you and you don't believe them, then it's like it's a completely wasted compliment. It comes all the way back to that confidence, right? You've got to have that inner confidence, and you've got to feel confident about yourself and not need compliments from other people.
Yeah.
Also, which I said to Alex just before we started filming,
yeah,
is that a lot of people will compliment you on things that you have zero control over.
Oh my God, she went off on one. She's like, yeah, nice eyes. And then she's like, oh yeah, wait, thank my mom and thank my dad because they gave me my eyes. I have no control over the color of my eyes.
It's so true. No, but I get complimented on my eyes.
She has
a lot,
beautiful eyes,
right?
though.
And thank you. That's great. But I haven't done anything to create these. It's, you know what I mean? They are what they are. Obviously, you could wear coloured contact lenses to change them, but then the compliment would be irrelevant because they're not your real eyes. Anywho.
Amy going off.
You know when someone truly compliments you on something that you did maybe for somebody, or you know it is a compliment on your personality and who you are.
Yeah.
It feels different.
Yeah, because even you said to me the other day that I made a compliment that really meant a lot to you. First met Amy a long time ago. I was really attracted to the way she carried herself. I felt like she was like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to travel. I'm going to be myself. And she was unapologetic for it. She was very, I found, badass, right? And that was super attractive to me. Me giving her that compliment was out of sincerity and out of experience because I have spent a lot of time with Amy now, and I have seen the progression and the way she carries herself, and it's very attractive to me. But it's good for me to point out things that initially attracted me to you.
But this is it, yeah.
That you aren't aware of, right?
That's what I was about to say. Like, you complimented me on how I carry myself and how I'm very determined to do what I want to do in life. But you hadn't really said it, especially not like the way that you did say it the other day.
Yeah.
And that's exactly like what we're talking about here, right? It's weird when people compliment you on who you are as a human. So when you did say all of that, I was like, yeah. Oh, really? Like, not quite like that, but it hits different.
It hits different,
completely
right?
different. And I'm so used to you complimenting me on my eyes or my hair or my bum, mainly in this case. Obviously, in a relationship, it's important to compliment each other as well.
Yeah.
And to tell each other that you are attracted to each other. That is important. We know that, right? We're not putting that down. But I even said this to you as well, that like sometimes they kind of just go one in one ear and straight out the other because it's sort of, I'm so used to it and it's the same compliment.
Yeah,
and
it becomes
I'm like,
monotonous. It becomes repetitive. It becomes the same thing over and over again, right? And
exactly.
it loses its value just like anything
Yeah.
would if it's continuous and it's easy and it's just something that everybody says or, you know, it's not unique at all, right? And it's funny because the other day at the skate park, I was skateboarding with a couple of kids and there's this one kid and he's a really good skateboarder, but there was like, it's weird. He had no ego, right? He was just very inclusive and very kind. And after I skateboarded, I thought to myself, I was like, wow, like he was so genuinely kind and nice and he was encouraging. And you don't see that in a lot of young skater kids and stuff like that. So it was really nice. And like, then we had this conversation about complimenting their characteristics and how they behave rather than how they look, right? Because I can go on about this kid and how he does good tricks and how he's a good skateboarder and blah, blah, blah. But really what I liked about him is how inclusive, how kind he was, how nice he is. So now I think if I ever meet him again, which I'm sure I will because he's always at the skate park, I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell him, you know, it's like, thank you for making me feel welcome, right? He left an impression on me because of how he carried himself and his personality, right?
I think that's huge. So this was just one of those things that I came across on YouTube when I was watching videos, stalking the comments and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's one of those things that stuck with me, right? Reading the comment and hearing about this woman who had no body issues and came from a culture where no one compliments you on your physical And it just stuck with me and I wanted to talk about it. And we've had chats about it the last few days, so it was sort of like
let's make a video,
to like put it out there in the world, right, and see what you guys think. So let us know what you think in the comments. And
we challenge you, go out and compliment someone's personality, compliment their character, right? Give them a compliment on how their behavior impacted you, you know, something that's genuine from the heart and not so much about their looks and their externals, right? More about their personality, right? And let them know.